Welcome back to my channel, Margaret Knob Designs. Thank you for joining me today for a collaboration hosted by Beth from Bourbon Creek Crafts. And there are many other designers that are a part of this collaboration. And basically it's talking about each month we have prompts on what we're supposed to be working on and what we are going to be doing each month. So I'm going to share with you this month what I did, and nothing too amazing, but it's just another type of organizational style that I decided to do. So what we're to be using this month is using our scraps, whether it's cardstock, pattern paper, other collections, other pieces of items, basically anything that's a scrap. So what I have a lot of scraps, as you can see even here, from different pages or different things that are left from my album making. And what I decided to do was, because when I'm done with a mini album, a lot of times I don't have all the tags and things done on them, but because I'm done, I'm not always excited about creating tags for the album, or cutting out the solid cardstock for it. So what I decided to do was to take as much of the leftover cardstock that I have from making albums. The most of the time I make my albums in a black cardstock, the Country Craft Creations Artisan cardstock. And so what I decided to do was to take my my leftover cardstock and organize them into packets that I could use for tags and photo mats and things like that for my albums. Like this is one that I labeled 2x2. These are all 2x2 size, so that if I wanted to use these, let's say on an album page, let me just grab this, and let's say I wanted to put this, I wanted this color of mats in my album. These are already cut. If I wanted to just add something to that, that way I'm sure that they're cut, they're done, and I can already use them for my album. So I thought this might be a quicker way for me to use up this cardstock. Excuse me. So what I did is I set some most common sizes of what I use. So I have a 2x2, 2.5 by 2.5. This one is 3x3. And I took any of my scraps and I cut out all the scraps that I knew I would use. I use red a lot for albums. I use craft and black. I'm going to even use some of my different colors as well and add them to this. The next one is 3x4, and I've added all those in here. And these are just for mats, or for mats on pages or tags. I'm not looking at these as flips or flaps in an album. Or this is a 3x5, leftover scraps. This one I did was 4x4. And 4x5. Excuse me. I've got those. Then I have 4x6. And this was one that I know for sure would be really good for tags for in my albums, or mats for in my albums. The other one that I did was 4.5 by 5.5. I probably won't continue cutting this one because I didn't think of that, but this is 4 inches by 6 inches. And so while it fits this way, it doesn't fit real well this way. So I'll use up what's there. The reason why I did this was because I had some that I didn't want to cut too much off of. And so what I've been trying to do is to get it so that I'm down to literally scraps like this of my pattern paper. Now, sometimes I will keep, especially in the black, I'll keep scraps that are this big because I can still do sentiment on here, or I could use it for on a card or on some other kind of strip. But for the most part, anything that is not able to be used for a sentiment, and I don't use a lot of teeny sentiments on my cards. I know there's some crafters that use those really teeny sentiments and they put a little strip under a bigger sentiment. I don't do that a lot, so I'm not concerned about that. But so basically, almost everything that's here will probably go in the garbage, but the rest of it is all already set up and saved here. So the next thing that I decided to do, if I had a bigger scrap, I started this box of, it's a 3" by whatever inch booklet. So like this is a 3x3 booklet or a 3x6. So I can use that as a tag or I can use it as an insert. This one is 3.5 by 4, 3x3, 3x4. And I just keep these little booklets in here, and I can use these for booklets in my album. And then this is 4 by whatever it would be. So this one, I believe it's sideways 4 by 5 or 4 by, actually I had a nice long piece, 4 by 10 and 4.5 by 4. Some lift up, some lift sideways, and 4 by 4, 4 by 4, 4 by 4. Same thing, 4 by 4.5. Did that, and so I can, this way, these are already started, they're prepared, and I don't even have to think about it then. I just know that, oh, go to this case, pull out every one that I can use, and then along with my scraps that I already have, and put my cardstock scraps to the side, and when I get a chance to go ahead and either finish them with the album or put them into these boxes so I don't have a ton of scraps laying everywhere. So these are all 4x6 booklets, or 4x6. Basically, this one is all 4x6. And so that's about as far as I got on my scraps. I have some other open bins in here, whether I fill those with sentiments or more scraps that can be done. Basically, right now, what I do is any scraps that I have, I use these envelopes right now for, they're from Office Depot, and they're called, I'm not sure what, I think they're 9x13 is really the size of them. I can't think, like a work order sleeve. But see, you can see there's a big scrap there. There's a lot of big scraps that I have left over from albums or things that I've done. So I haven't had a chance to cut these down yet. So what I want to do is to take all of these that can be made into a mat or a booklet to be put into these boxes. And then the only thing that would be left in my scraps would be normally something that's bigger than this. Like this, I could put a sentiment on, and I could not necessarily stamp it, but I could, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the, the heated, oh, I'm looking right at it. I can't even think of the name of it. So like heat the sentiment up with the, yes, like this, the embossing stuff, not with the black, but with a white or a gold or something on there. And then I can use this for cards, and I could have them already done, finished, and I could pull a card together quite quickly. But for right now, all my scraps of this brown cardstock, which is almost all artisan cardstock that I've used. And I'm going to go through this and do the same thing that I've done with my black and my red, and be able to use it. Like the brown mats, I may not do a lot of mini albums with brown mats, but one of the things that I do a lot of is in my craft cardstock. And depending upon the depending upon the album, maybe a brown mat would work within the paper along with the craft cardstock. So there's many different options, and what I wanted to show you today is what I've already taken so far, and I've reduced down my scraps. So an example would be, this is still looking really, really full, but again, remember, I use black cardstock all the time. This is what I have left in my scraps, and I literally had 2 of these before. So what I want left in here is only pieces that cannot be made into mats or cannot be used for something else. Otherwise, anything that's smaller than this, I can use for sentiments or something of the like for my mini albums or cards. So that's my Smash or Stash for January 2023. Thanks so much for joining me. Please be sure to follow the hashtag. It's listed in the description to see other collaborators that are going to be working on this month. And I thank you so much for watching and visiting me once again. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.